Bill, it's not just 60 Minutes, right? I mean, they literally they took down his chief late night critic. CBS News at 6:30 does sound and feel different.
Trust me,
this is not just about 60 Minutes.
I feel it too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm part of it. I get it. But we're just talking about 60 Minutes now. But yes, I agree. He's a danger to media. He's a danger to freedom of speech. But just 60 Minutes, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not going to make that decision until I see a smoking gun, like something like, oh wow, now we're tick tick tick, Candace Owens and Alex Jones on 60 Minutes. But also get a life. Stop making him your whole personality.
Bill Maher recently sat down with Democrat Senator Chris Murphy, and what happened afterward got a lot of people talking. For nearly an hour, the two exchanged arguments in a heated political discussion, but many viewers felt that Maher kept pushing back against Murphy's claims at every turn. His responses were sharp, direct, and sometimes brutal. By the end of the conversation, people on both sides were debating who came out on top. So if you enjoy political drama, strong opinions, and unfiltered debates, stay with us, because this story has plenty to unpack.
You think of the shakeup at 60 Minutes. Big controversy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're watching a censorship state be created. Trump is using the powers that he has available as president of the United States to install only friendly ownership at the big media companies. He's using regulatory powers to punish people who oppose him.
That's a big charge that you just made. That 60 Minutes itself and CBS itself is now completely MAGA. I don't see it that way.
Completely MAGA.
Well, that's kind of what you said.
But he is clearly intent on installing people who will tell his story.
Oh, of course.
And will keep his critics off the air.
But let me ask you this question. I watch 60 Minutes every week. I've had since I was a kid. If I didn't hear all the buzz in the media, if I didn't read about it all the time, would I ever notice that it was any different? I don't think I would.
Yeah, but it's not.
For a long time, critics have argued that 60 Minutes treated Joe Biden and Kamala Harris much more kindly when Democrats were running the country. One example that keeps getting mentioned is Kamala Harris's interview, which many people felt was confusing and awkward before it was edited. Critics claim that the final version shown to viewers was carefully cleaned up and polished. In their view, the program did not simply present the interview in a better light. They believe it removed moments that could have made Harris look worse. Now the situation seems to have flipped. Senator Chris Murphy is warning that Donald Trump could receive favorable treatment from 60 Minutes and CBS. What many critics find surprising is that some of the same people who once defended selective editing are now expressing concern about it. To those critics, the double standard is easy to spot, and they believe the contradiction speaks for itself.
It's not just 60 Minutes, and part of it is you don't know what they choose not to. You don't know what they choose not to air.
That's true too.
Part of what the allegation is that they are killing stories that would be embarrassing for the president. So it's hard to know what you're missing in a censorship environment.
But I've seen ones that are not very favorable to the president.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I would have noticed any different if I hadn't been reading about it. Also, I just don't think being a 60 Minutes correspondent is that hard. I don't feel like Scott Pelley was a national treasure.
One of the most talked about moments came when Chris Murphy suggested that the president was putting pressure on 60 Minutes to avoid reporting stories that might be embarrassing. That claim immediately raised eyebrows. Bill Maher did not let the statement slide and challenged it right away. He argued that people should also remember past controversies involving media coverage. Maher pointed to the Hunter Biden laptop story, which many critics believe was ignored, limited, or downplayed by major news organizations and technology companies. According to those critics, there was very little outrage from Democratic leaders at the time. They note that Chris Murphy was not publicly raising alarms then. Yet today, they say, many Democrats suddenly seem very concerned about media fairness. To those critics, the outrage feels selective and difficult to take seriously because they believe similar concerns were brushed aside in the past.
Companies change hands all the time. I never liked them, sorry, I just never did. Companies change hands. People bring in their own people, their new ownership. You know, just because something changes doesn't mean. I feel like we see everything through such a partisan lens. Oh my God, 60 Minutes has a new cast. So does Saturday Night Live.
This is one reason why Bill Maher often finds himself in an unusual position with many people on the left. He does not always follow the party line, and he is willing to criticize his own side when he thinks it is necessary. Maher tends to say exactly what he believes, even when it upsets political allies. In this case, he argued that staff changes at 60 Minutes should not automatically trigger panic. Leadership changes happen all the time in businesses, news organizations, and institutions across the country. A new manager or executive does not automatically mean political interference is taking place. Yet some Democrats quickly viewed the changes with suspicion and saw them as part of a larger political effort. Maher pushed back against that idea, saying assumptions are not facts, and that evidence should come before accusations.
Bill, it's not just 60 Minutes, right? I mean, they literally took down his chief late-night critic. CBS News at 6:30 does sound and feel different.
Trust
so
me,
this is not just about 60 Minutes.
I feel it too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm part of it. I get it. But we're just talking about 60 Minutes now. But yes, I agree. He's a danger to media. He's a danger to freedom of speech. But just 60 Minutes, I don't know. I mean, and I'm not going to make that decision until I see a smoking gun, like something like, oh wow, you know, now we're tick tick tick, Candace Owens and Alex Jones on 60 Minutes.
Maher also made it clear that he is not interested in theories or guesses. He wants real proof before accepting claims that Trump has somehow influenced or compromised 60 Minutes. In his view, accusations should be backed up by solid facts, not speculation. He pointed again to the Hunter Biden laptop controversy as an example of what critics consider actual media manipulation. Whether people agree with that comparison or not, Maher's larger point was simple. Serious accusations require serious evidence. From his perspective, a management reshuffle and some internal changes at a news program do not automatically prove anything improper happened. He argued that not every staffing decision is part of a secret political plot. Sometimes changes happen because organizations want a different direction or leadership style. In Maher's view, people should wait for real proof before assuming the worst.
But also, get a life. Stop making him your whole personality. Thank you. You know, in meditation, not that I really do it, but I'm gonna start. But I know they say when you're trying to clear your mind, but thoughts rush in, don't fight them. Just let them pass like a cloud. Well, maybe that's what we should do with some of Trump's stupid stuff.
Maher also suggested that many Democrats have developed a habit of reacting strongly to nearly everything Donald Trump does. According to him, the outrage never seems to stop. If Trump is involved in changes at a media company, critics become furious. If he takes action on immigration, many opponents strongly object. If he makes a move involving foreign policy, another wave of criticism quickly follows. Maher's advice was straightforward. He believes people should choose their battles more carefully and save their strongest reactions for issues that truly deserve them. Not every headline needs to be treated like a national emergency. In his view, constant outrage can weaken important arguments because people eventually stop paying attention when every issue is described as a crisis.
There's a lot of outrageous, horrible shit going on. Not all. We don't have to take off our shoes at the airport anymore. I like that. And I gotta say, I love it that Iran won't be getting a nuclear bomb anytime soon. And no, I'm not saying that because I sat down with him once and ate his green beans. I'm kidding, there were no vegetables.
Another criticism often directed at Bill Maher is the claim that he has quietly moved closer to Republicans. Some people pointed to his interactions with Trump and suggested that he had become more sympathetic to the former president. Critics on the left have questioned whether Maher is still fully committed to their side politically. Maher strongly rejects that accusation. He says he has not switched sides at all. Instead, he believes he has simply chosen not to automatically oppose everything Trump does. He argues that it is possible to criticize a politician when necessary, while also recognizing positive actions when they occur. According to Maher, acknowledging something good is not the same thing as endorsing a person completely. He sees that approach as honest and balanced, even if some people strongly disagree with it.
No, it's just that life is complicated, and Democrats need to be less emotional and more focused. Now, should the Washington Commanders be forced to go back to the name Redskins? Probably not, but, Indians are hip. They know that the name of a football team will have the exact same effect on their actual lives as forcing people to do a land acknowledgement before porn videos.
Things became even more interesting when Maher turned his attention to what he sees as performative politics. He argued that politicians should spend less time making symbolic gestures and more time solving real problems. To make his point, he discussed land acknowledgement statements, the formal remarks often made before events recognizing that land once belonged to indigenous communities. Maher argued that simply reading a statement does little to change reality. In his view, if leaders truly believe in the message behind those words, they should follow them with meaningful action. Otherwise, he says, the statements risk becoming empty rituals that make people feel good without producing actual results. His argument was that actions matter far more than carefully chosen words.
Should Trump have decreed that there are only two sexes? Not really, but frankly, I'm happy I'm just one of them. And Greenland? I'm sorry, I just can't. I'm sorry. I never thought about it before. I can't start now. Reopening Alcatraz? Oh, for fuck's sake, open it on Greenland for all I care.
The larger message Maher delivered to Chris Murphy and other Democrats was simple. Stop treating every decision involving Trump as a major national disaster. Focus energy on issues that have a direct impact on people's lives. Maher argued that topics such as the economy, national security, and constitutional freedoms deserve serious attention because they affect millions of Americans every day. Those are the areas where political leaders should invest their time and effort. By comparison, he believes internal staffing changes at a television news program are far less important. Spending enormous political energy on media personnel decisions, he argued, is unlikely to convince voters who are more concerned about everyday challenges.
But also, get a life. Stop making him your whole personality. Thank you. In meditation, not that I really do it, but I'm gonna start. But I know they say when you're trying to clear your mind, but thoughts rush in, don't fight them. Just let them pass like a cloud. Well, maybe that's what we should do with some of Trump's stupid stuff.
In the end, Maher presented what many viewers saw as a warning to the Democratic Party. He argued that constant outrage over every Trump-related story is not a winning strategy. Instead, he believes it risks damaging the party's credibility over time. During the discussion, Chris Murphy arrived ready to defend his position, but many viewers felt Maher repeatedly challenged him with examples from recent political controversies. The Hunter Biden laptop story was mentioned. Questions about media editing and bias were raised. And Maher argued that concerns about fairness should apply equally, regardless of which party benefits. His message was clear. Demand evidence before making accusations. Focus on issues that truly matter to everyday Americans. And avoid getting distracted by symbolic battles that accomplish very little. Whether people agree with him or not, the conversation certainly gave everyone something to think about. If you enjoyed this discussion and found the breakdown interesting, be sure to share your thoughts below. Let us know where you stand on the debate and which arguments you found most convincing. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future uploads. Thanks for spending your time with us today. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next video.